Oh, you bot. Good morning, fam. Let's be righteous. And I'm hopping on the PTS for the first time because I want to see what this is about. Morton Ryberg tweeted out, maybe you guys should try this out. Tell me what it's like, because it's just a PTS and things can be changed. And he was referring to the fact that you can't jam or disrupt any skill above your skill tier level. So if you're the DPS build, you won't be allowed to jam somebody's drone or turret who's a tier 6 or even a tier 2 for that matter. But I'm here to test that out to see what it's really like, because if that's true, if that's the case, then DPS builds in PvP are going to become obsolete. Now, I already said before that DPS builds have been replaced by this new meta of, or this new wave of skill builds or skill DPS hybrids with the capacitor, because there's no way for them to compete. There's no way for them to compete with any of that, simply because you have basically 2 agents shooting at you at one time, and there was something that you could do about it when you had the jammer. Just look at this footage real quick. And I showed this footage in a couple videos ago when I was talking about how to get raid exotics in DZ when the next patch rolls out. And I had put some footage in there that I intended to make a build about a long time ago, but I lost it. I forgot. I thought I lost the footage, and then I randomly came upon it. And I'm like, yo, this is what I was looking for, but I guess it wasn't meant for that time. It's meant for this time. So just check this footage out and look at how I keep destroying these guys in the DZ with this build that utilizes Pulse, Spotter, Striker Drone, and a full 6-tier skill build. And I'm going against DPS players, and it's like effortless. They tried using the Jammer Pulse. They got me a couple times, and I was able to shake it off. But just imagine this without them being able to jam my skills. And that's what I'm talking about by skill and DPS builds becoming obsolete. Oh, you bot.
Contaminated gear detected.
Where you at? There you go. You're a bot, dude.
Immediate medical assistance needed. Contaminated gear detected.
Now that was crazy, right? Now just think about it. This is relevant to both PvP and PvE players. You might not think, oh, you might be thinking, oh, I'm not really worried about this. I play PvE only, so it's not going to affect me. Here's the thing. Some people had mixed reviews about this. Some people were against it, and a lot of people were for it. Actually, that's the other way around. A lot of people were against it, and few people were for it. And that is the fact that these raid exclusive exotics like the Eagle Bear and Ravenous, very desirable weapons that people have wanted for so long, that have been locked behind the raid, are going to be farmable in the Dark Zone. And it's relevant because if you don't want to get farmed in the Dark Zone by rogue agents and people who are toxic and are going to want to grief you in the dark zone because they know you're in there trying to farm these exotics, then this is very relevant. Because most of those guys, I tell you what, most of those guys are going to be DPS players. Facts, bottom line. They're going to be using crazy DPS builds. And do you know what people usually do? They use a jammer pulse because they can get away with just jamming your high skill tier skills and just ADSing you down. But if they don't change this, then they're not going to be able to do that anymore. Then it's going to cause a problem for them. They're going to have to adjust. For meta players, that's hard for them to do. But this is completely relevant to you, to PvE players, to PvP players. It's relevant for the future of the next patch rolling out. And if you want to build that's going to actually help deal with that and allow you to be successful in the dark zone, then this 6-tier skill build that I was roasting them in the DZ is going to help you in that regard. Now, the reason I'm not showing it to you is because since I used that build, the Bukaro's holster came out, Brazos, a few other things, and they're even talking about the Ninja Bike Messenger backpack. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'll show you the build right now. This is not how the build is going to be in the future because, as I said, the Ninja Bike Messenger bag is coming out, and I could possibly make some changes to it and make it even better. The Ninja Bike Messenger bag is not even available in this PTS to test out, so the purpose of this video was to shed some light on the fact that that pulse wasn't tested out yet. Honestly, I don't have anybody on to test it out with, but theoretically, I'm just thinking of how it will be based on what I read from the patch notes and what Morten Ryberg said and other people have said that I've watched on YouTube. So it's a pretty simple concept to swallow, but I'm just saying if they don't change it, it's going to be a good thing for hybrids and skill builds going forward. And you guys need to really take heed of the fact that the meta is shifting. The meta has shifted, and you got to accept it because these DPS builds are just not the way anymore. Berserk Clutch was basically extinct. They even took Berserk out of the game because it was considered so strong for so many people. And that Berserk Clutch combo was the way to go with any DPS build. And when they took it away, Clutch became useless. That's another thing, man. How they're just doing away with things without even balancing it out. It's no balance in the way that the meta shifts, whether it's DPS to skill or skill to DPS. This, I'm gonna tell you, this pulse or jammer pulse thing that they're doing where they're automatically making it so that you cannot, DPS players cannot jam anything that's above their skill tier, that's an extreme move. Because that's too strong, man. It's too powerful to give skill builds. Even though I'm a advocate of skill builds and hybrids, I just believe that it's too strong. To give skill players that much power, the capacitor is very strong, man, and you're just adding to that flame. But that's my 2 cents on it.